Well, let's see how fun this is going to be. That is definitely more than just a small little leak. So we've got a 33 millimeter. Oh yeah, that popped right off. Nice. So we're going to screw that on a little bit more. And then we've got an actual Pitman arm puller. So that should, yeah, that should fit in there. But I got this one instead of renting one. I just ordered this one. It's a performance tool. I think it's like 20 bucks or 15 bucks or something. But I can actually get an impact on here. Or you can use a breaker bar or whatever. Or if you had like a 3/8 impact, that would work too. Well, that looks to be 3/8 because it's definitely not half. I'm going to get that on there. I'm going to pull that out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it with power steering fluid. And then turn it lock to lock. And try to get it to force that seal out so that I could just replace just the seal and not have to take everything apart and rebuild it, because I just don't have time for that. I gotta do a quick fix here. And that was definitely a struggle. I had to pry that seal back up in there. I mean, the seal is just completely shot out. I'm gonna find out what, oh, first try. What did I grab? It's at 19. A little bit loose, but 19. And just in case that doesn't work, like I said, it's a 3/8 drive. Maybe we'll just go ahead and try it by breaker bar first and see how it does. Maybe a little smarter. Yeah, I think I'm going to impact that off of there. So I'll impact that down, let it rest on there, and then yeah, I'll figure out what I gotta do from there. It's like we're bending the tool and we're not budging. I don't think we're budging. I'm gonna hit it with a hammer a few times and see if that maybe helps, but this is why my Ranger don't have power steering. That doesn't need it though, but for some reason this is impossible to turn without power steering. So I'm gonna give it a couple good hits with a decent sized hammer and hopefully don't break a brand new tool. That looks like that might be just bending. I think I'm making progress, but I keep bending this tool. Luckily I have this bumper here to reshape the tool with, but yeah, it's just popping right out of there. Just bending it right out and popping out. I've given it some negotiational taps with a hammer, but it's still being pretty stubborn. But I mean, it fits in there better, so it must be coming down. It can't be too far, hopefully. That tool's done. Stripped it right out. Yeah, ripped the threads right out of it. Oh, this thing is definitely stubborn. And there are the threads. I don't know if it's focusing. There we go. Smoothed right out. Okay, well, that's the end of that tool. Don't know if I can blame the tool or if it's that stubborn. I'll have to rent one tomorrow, I guess. Okay, attempt number 2. We have the broken and mangled one. And now we've got a brand new one, which was about 20 bucks. Looks like it'll hopefully be a little bit better. Hopefully. I've also had it soaking in PB Blaster. Figure it was probably already lubed up enough from all the leaking fluid, but maybe not. Oh man, that is not. There we go. Look at how well that one fits. So we're going to give this one a shot and hope for the best. And I won't know if this OEM Tools brand is better than this, I forgot, brand. But I don't know if it's going to be better or if I just loosened it up a little bit better. We're going to find out. Oh, it looks like it's going to do it this time. Look at that. Look at that. We've got movement. now all that's left to do is everything. I gotta figure out how to get that seal out of there and then get a new seal pounded in and hope I don't have to rebuild this whole entire, oh man, I must have really bent that, but now I might be able to reuse that and get my Ranger, get some power steering in that. That would be cool. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. Now I gotta figure out what the next step is. Okay, so there apparently is a snap ring inside of there behind that seal cover there. So I took my bolts out and put them in there. I'm gonna tighten, oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm gonna tighten that down and then grab the breaker bar, but never mind. There we go. And then it's notched here, so we're not worried about any of that getting out of alignment. I'm gonna need a pry bar. I'll pry that out, see if I got some snap ring pliers, and snap that snap ring out of there, and then put this back up and try the crank it lock to lock method, and hopefully we can blow the seals out and then drive them in and not have to rebuild this damn thing. I don't know if you can rebuild it in frame or not, but I don't really want to find out this time around. I mean, I can't, where's my flashlight? I can't even see a snap ring in there. I don't think I've got one. I don't really want to drip that on my face. Yeah, there's no snap ring. I hope I have the right seal kit then. I'm going to clean that up, and then I'm going to try to shove those seals out of there. Try to knock some in. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to have the right size socket to hammer the new seals in there. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't have like a ball joint press where I can use the little cylinders or anything like that yet. The adventure continues. Move the Ultra Custom hood pins that were not installed by me, but they're so humorous. I mean, they're wildly inconvenient with how long it actually takes to remove them, but they're so funny that I haven't really done anything to adjust it yet. Probably just gonna drill holes and put actual pins in, but here we go. The nightmare that lies within. Alright, I'm gonna dump some fluid in there and see if this method is successful for me. I can't even see the screen of the phone, so I have no idea if that's gonna capture or not. I really hope it does, because I want to see it pop them out of there if it does pop them out of there. I don't have a lot of faith. It did not work for me. All that it did was make a mess. Well, now I don't know what to do. I guess I'm gonna have to figure something out. Damn it. I was hoping. I was pretty excited. Well, it looks like we're going in from the top. One thing I removed was that. I almost removed this whole thing. So the thing I removed was the cooling fan. Hopefully that's all I have to remove, and I can. Sorry. Hopefully that's all I have to remove, and I can sneak it out of there. But I'm a little concerned here. I love working on stuff that other people worked on. When they installed these and welded them on, now it overlaps here. I can get it pried up over here, but then it won't pull out here. Luckily that's a T30 and I found one, so I'm gonna have to remove this plate, which I was trying to avoid, but pull this plate out and then pop it out of there, and then hopefully I can pry this panel out of the way, and then hopefully I can move the radiator enough to get to those bolts. Okay, well that doesn't work either. Because even after removing that, the frame rail is still in the way. Well, not the frame rail, but the body. And I do not want to take that out. So, I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. Let's see what it looks like in there. Maybe. Okay. No idea. Definitely. Right. Okay, so it went so far. A little seal, which is pretty well trashed, with the groove down. And it seems to have, oh, it's got metal inside of it. That's why I couldn't drill through it. And then snap ring, then washer, and then bigger seal that I haven't been able to get out. Okay, next day, and things are actually moving along pretty good. I ended up just unbolting. I don't know where I left off yesterday. So I unbolted the steering box itself, just unbolted it, and then swiveled it around. I left everything else connected. And I angled it so I can get to these top bolts. Pulled that out, cleaned everything up in there, and then after quite a bit of fighting, we were able to hammer out the seals. So where did they go? Here's the other seal. So the big seal was quite the battle. So in order to get that back in, now I got the gear back in there and everything. I'm going to, and cleaned it all up. I hosed it down with plenty of blaster and kind of cleaned up the sides as much as possible, so they should be nice and smooth. So I'm either going to use some grease, some cheap grease, and grease up the new seals, and I'll put in the big one first with the notch down, and then it'll be the washer and then the snap ring. That's going to be fun. And then I'll hammer that in, and then the small seal with the notch down. And then I guess that this piece here must just have been a dust cover, so I think it's good enough to reuse. So we'll reuse that. We're gonna put in the, well, see, that's a different size seal though. Well, what the hell? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So bottom seal, and we'll hammer that in. And it came, the little kit that I bought, I just ordered it, and it came with a new washer and a new snap ring and everything. So that's the plan. I'm gonna go get started on that, and then to hammer it in, generally like the Saginaw 30mm, we'll just hammer that up in there. It'll fit perfectly, and I think it's deep enough to get that in there. So that's the plan. Time to get started. I might change my mind on the grease, and I have a little bit of this residual shit here. I might just go ahead and use this and use that to lube it up to get it in there. So these are the two that I need. I'll go ahead and lube them, clean them up, lube them up, throw them in there. Okay, so 30mm didn't work. 33mm didn't work. I just can't get a socket over this. Here, this is not a Saginaw system, or I've been like misinformed on it. So we got the top, the big seal. I just absolutely coated it with the trans fluid, the Transfix there. It was a bitch to get that washer and snap ring in, because my snap ring pliers are a little they're quite complicated to use. So, but I did get the seal in there, and then I just used a screwdriver to kind of slide it up into place little bits at a time. And the washer, I just got that to where it was wedged, and then the snap ring, finally got that in, and it took multiple attempts to finally get it to get into its little groove, but now it is. So now I gotta do another little cleaning underneath there because it's got some contamination. Get the little seal in, get the dust cover on, and hopefully get this thing buttoned up. Okay, that's mostly back together. That little dust cover, I don't know how good that's gonna do, but that little seal at the bottom, I just lubed it up and then stuck it in there and then pushed it in and then set it with a screwdriver. It snapped right into place. Nothing real major about that. So we're gonna dump some fluid in it and it'll be a moment of truth. And that was a complete failure for whatever reason. Fuck. Now what? I just shot the damn pitman arm off. Well, how the hell does that work? Because I snap ring that in there, so now I gotta start all over again. And I've got a lot of fluid in there too. It does not make any sense. I put it in exactly as it came out. Unless whoever was in there put it in wrong. But the snap ring only fit one way. You know, there's only one groove. But why was there another? I don't know how this works. This doesn't make any sense at all. And now we're heading 25 minutes back into town. Wow, this damn lens is dirty. Alright, so now we're headed back into town. I'm gonna buy some snap ring pliers that actually have the retainer screw, because apparently that's what I'm missing. And come to find out, after looking at an actual diagram, the orientation of the seals is absolutely wrong. I put it back in the way that it was taken out, and that's probably my issue. Is somebody was already in there, they tried to fix a power steering leak, and they installed everything absolutely incorrect. So let's go ahead and take that all back out and redo everything. So this is definitely a better method. Remove the top bolt. So top bolt's pulled completely out. This bolt's pulled completely out on the left here. You know that's showing up. This one's still in place, but loose. Now I was able to pivot it, get to all 4 bolts, and get, oh man, I gotta secure that damn thing, and then pull that out, and then I was able to just push the seal back out gently, since I just put that seal in yesterday, and then that just dropped that back in place, and then bolt it back down, and then I'll be able to rotate that back into position and then put my seals in the proper method, in the proper orientation. Okay, so my kit came with, okay, so the thin seal was just gonna go in first with this facing downward. It comes with a plastic washer which fits down inside of there, so I guess we'll use that. So we'll set that up in there, and then it's gonna go the thick washer like that, and then the steel washer. I said thick seal, not, I said thick washer, I think. I don't know, I'm fucking stupid. Thick seal, or metal seal, and then snap ring. So I'm gonna put it in there one at a time, and it should go. I gotta clean them up, and then I'm gonna put them in. So I'll get them cleaned up, I'll get them put in. Mine did not come with the dust cover, but we're gonna put that on. And then pitman arm, washer, or lock washer, and then nut. So, and that's the seal kit, and then we're going to have no more power steering leaks, probably. I am at the end of my damn rope with this thing. I've got everything up there as far as it'll go, and there's not enough room for the washer and snap ring. Enough room for the snap ring, but not the washer and the snap ring. So I really don't actually know. Here, this is getting ridiculous. So we had, yeah, according to the thing, little seal washer, big seal metal washer. I cannot get the metal washer. I don't understand why, and I do not want to push those seals back out to redo it. I'm gonna keep trying to get it. I loosen up those top ones there. Maybe I can lift up that gear, push those up, seat the washer and snap ring, and then use those to sandwich everything together. We'll see. Okay, so it's finally in. And what I ended up having to do was, oh yeah, it's still dry. I put quite a few miles on it today too. So what I ended up doing was taking everything back out again and turning the damn seals over so that the flat side's on the bottom, because apparently that's how it's supposed to be. I ended up removing the plastic washer in the middle, so there's no washer between the seals, but that's the only way it would fit. And this is a 97. I know there's a lot of things that are like a 1 year only on this, so maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe it's not. All I know is that it is dry. And I have steering. For the first time, I have power steering in this thing, and it's not great, but oh my god, what a difference. I know there are better steering boxes. I don't have the money, and I don't have the time, and I don't have the patience to swap out a whole box. But I have a way to work tomorrow, tonight, a couple hours from now, whatever. I have a way to work. So look at that, nice and dry. What a nightmare this was.